Joining me now is political analyst Michael Geoghegan. Michael, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So the BC election is tomorrow. What can we expect? What have we been seeing from the polls so far?
What we're seeing is a nail biter. We have some polls like Main Street, which show the Conservatives ahead. We have other polling companies that show the NDP ahead. We have yet others that are projecting the Greens will hold the balance of power, with a couple of seats. So this is going to be a nail biter of an election, and even things like the weather are going to factor into it. Who's more motivated to come out into the rain and vote, for their party? And we've also, this is a province where we've seen a record advanced voter turnout. Now, normally that means we're going to see a change in government, but in this election, who knows? It's going to go down to the wire.
I want to talk about the voter turnout. BC has smashed advanced voting records so far. Does this say anything to you about turnout and engagement, or simply just a chance to miss lining up in the rain? As you mentioned, it's supposed to be quite a rainy election day.
Well, I don't think people knew it was going to be raining on election day when they started advanced polling, but I certainly think that the convenience of the advanced polling has been a factor. I mean, it's certainly why I took advantage of it. Mm-hmm. But the other thing is what we're starting to get some indication of is that young people may be coming out and voting more than they have in previous elections, and that people who haven't voted in years or perhaps never voted at all are coming out in this election to vote, and because that's how high the stakes are seen by all sides. I mean, you've got I was talking to one former Green Party leader, and he said if the Greens are holding the balance of power, you can guarantee they're going to make David Eby hold on to the provincial carbon tax in if they're supporting the NDP, which of course they would. And then there's another person who's saying, well, if the Conservatives don't win, the guns are going to be out for the leader, and you're going to have sort of big corporatist types trying to capture the leadership of a party, which right now is very much run by populists, and that's part of the reason why it's appealed to young people and blue-collar voters. So there's so much at stake in this election. Oh, and also a former NDP premier was talking to a mutual friend of mine and casually dropped the fact that we're on track to have a structural deficit of $15 billion a year if we don't get some significant economic growth going in this province. So again, the consequences of this nail-biter election are going to be very, very significant depending on what the numbers are tomorrow.
And for those of us in the rest of the country who haven't been following it as closely, give us a broad brush stroke of some of the main themes that we've been seeing coming out of this election campaign. What are British Columbians pushing for?
Well, I mean, certainly there's a lot of, dislike of the carbon tax. And in BC, we actually have a provincial version because it was passed before the Liberals brought in a federal carbon tax. So that's been one factor. The people that can't get access to healthcare, that's been another factor. The fact that under the current premier, we went from a very significant budget surplus under the previous NDP premier, John Horgan, and now under David Eby, there's the largest deficit in British Columbia's history, and they're even spending past that. And then there's sort of been by Eby this attempt to sort of portray the Conservatives as extremists, but in fact, there's been a very diverse array of candidates running for the Conservatives, and I would say that that's been very reflective of British Columbia. But again, this is a party that hasn't really been a factor in BC politics for almost a century. So this is again, it's going to be up to the voters. Every vote is going to count. So it's going to be really amazing to see how this turns out.
A big weekend in BC politics. Michael Geoghegan, political analyst, thanks so much for your time today and filling us in.
Thank you.